This kind of reminds me of the Waymo styled feeds. You know, cameras that just kept coming up and recording your ass every time. And yes, I was recorded in 6K. Somebody was down there with a high def camera and was recording from a van, and I was, I just gave him a nice salute. He came around twice. He waved at me. You could definitely tell he was in record mode. He had the earphones on, so he was doing his thing. So I put on a good show for him, right? So yeah, and this is another big thing too, when people talk about, dealing with, when it comes to secret government and secret societies, we ran into the brunt force up in Morristown. We had gang stalkers, gangbangers coming from out everywhere. We had an interview with 2 FBI agents and 2 sheriffs back in May of 2019. I ended up getting attacked by a bunch of neighbors late at night in May of 2020 that changed our life forever. And so when you realize that you survived a death attempt, somebody trying to electrocute you to death or program you, doesn't matter either or, when you wake up with a big ass square mark on the bottom of your foot, you know something's up. So, like I said, we record Transpac Aviation have till they stop, until they hit the borders, because obviously when they stalk into people's Twitch chat rooms and they say you can't stop us, and they taunt you from flying over a cell tower. Like one night I had N822PA flying over our cell node, and, chatting on his phone, and he's like, how can you watch the chat room on your computer and watch me at the same time? So I was like, I don't mind. I mean, it's in the chat room, but that's what the pilot was doing. That's how arrogant Transpac / Aero Naziguard is. Arrogant, just straight up. Let's put it this way. That's the reason the chemtrails are still being sprayed in the skies, because people are arrogant. And nobody's calling them out on it. Nobody ever has, like I said. And Betty loved having me around because I put on a good show for her, as far as all the stuff that was going on, trying to defend her against the train mafia, the airplane mafias, the secret society military mafias. We had it all. Like I said, we got hit from every corner out in Morristown. If you don't believe me, I have plenty of witnesses that will attest to the trauma and the terror that was instilled by the F-35s and Transpac Aviation. Gang banging, gang warfare have been since 2016. Like I said, when they got thrown out of Scottsdale, all that traffic started hammering down on the Whitman area like no tomorrow. And a lot of people bitched. A lot of people knew that I was a chemtrail activist, come to me and they said, hey, how come you can't solve this? And I'm like, I'm working on chemtrail planes, I'm recording chemtrail mafias, I'm not really focused on small aviation traffic, but what they said was true, when they were alarmed and perturbed by airplanes by the FBI coming down and flying on top of their trailer parks, very low altitude, by the way. It's because it's man in the middle, remember? Arrogance. Remember, nobody calls out the FBI, nobody calls out the CIA, nobody calls them out. Nobody. I've never seen one person ever successfully call out 3-letter corrupt federal agencies. And let's put it this way, the shit that we went through out in Morristown, we called the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Interior, Federal Railroad Administration. By the way, Federal Administration, BNSF is abusing the shit out of their privilege of their horns. They go through 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and they just hanging on them horns going through Phoenix. So you got to come up with a solution with Burlington, Nazi, Santa Fe being an asshole in downtown Phoenix, because obviously there's a lot of homeless and a lot of peeps, around them tracks, right? But, yeah, they got to fix that, because there's a lot of people that pay for their mortgages, and Burlington, Nazi, Santa Fe likes to piss them off late at night, keep everybody irritated, agitated. I can tell, like I said, we're dealing with really rich billionaire mafias. Warren Buffett, let's see who else was involved. Elon Musk. I mean, we run into all the big kahunas when it comes to being on Twitch.tv. So yes, I used to be a Twitch streamer until my neighbor proved to me that it was not worth streaming on Twitch anymore, just because he liked to brag about all his bad habits on my Twitch chat room. That's how we met. At the very first. But like I said, strange things. We had like over 15 stalkers in Morristown. I'd have to say at least 20, 25. Morristown should have been equipped with lights, cameras, action, but no. Instead, we got Transpac Aviation 50, 100, 200 feet above our houses with hacked altimeters, because the FBI likes to gloat and brag about its hacked technology. And then he uses the Chinese kids on top of it. Because when I was down at Transpac the other week, I saw Chinese, you know. In fact, it was a 50-50 split between Chinese and regular white folk. That's all I saw. And they were way younger than me. I mean, we're talking children. I mean, I was twice their age. I felt like a grandfather sitting up on the closed restaurant, you know, chair, sitting there going, these are kids. I mean, do you think I really want to get in the face of kids and tell them how stupid they are? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, no. Like I said, you know, I'm drawing attention to the rat population here in Phoenix flying around like shit, okay? And that's what it is, because obviously when you start working the small spectrums of corruption, it works and affects the bigger sides of the federal corruption. Like I said, feds are corrupt. Nothing but it. And who's going to clean them out? You ain't going to see no sheriffs roll in and arrest a bunch of government agents, because they have to arrest everybody. That's how deep and how corrupt it is, right? So that's what I do every day. And when I sat down and had those memos in my face, I did it for the city of Phoenix, because I showed them, hey, if you're famous, you're going to have these things on your ass all the time. They're going to invade your privacy. Just like Transpac does with its camera radar, its bioweapons dumps from its air conditioning scoop vents, and its PRF from its transponders. It's like a religion, you know. It's until you call somebody out and you actually put them out in the open and in the public, will people actually see what's going on, just like the chemtrails. There's nothing you can really do, you know what I'm saying? Because it's that taking over. In other words, we're still at war. Remember, the United States is still at war, supposedly with Iraq, Iran, and all that shit, right? Nobody's ever declared the end of the war, right? So, and then 9/11 was an inside job because the boot's on top of this. And then you get an aviation company dedicating its time and energy and resources to sitting on top of a small community of poor people. Like I said, Whitman is like drug central, you know. And then you got it's a drug highway going all the way to Kingman. Drugs. It's like super out of control. Like I said, did anybody ever step up and fix the problem? No. They just put asshole pilots over the top of it, thinking that's going to solve their problems, and it doesn't. Okay, they sit behind their computer screens and they do everything remotely. They don't get out on the front line and have fun like I did, you know, sitting down there in downtown Phoenix, because that is on the front line. You know, to sit there by yourself right outside of a stadium with a few dollars in your pocket and doing what I was doing, you got to have balls of steel. Because you're dealing with foot traffic, you're dealing with everything, you're dealing with all the riffraff. I mean, you get to see the whole enchilada, the whole 9 yards of what really makes up Phoenix and stuff of that nature. So I enjoyed it, you know, poking my face out there and being exposed, and you know, so that way the Mormons couldn't hide me any longer, and their program will be exposed. And these Chinese and regular folk are going to go hit the borders of Nogales and Tucson. They're going to stay at the top off of Whitman and Morristown. They're going to go bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? 925 PI. I could tell you a story about it. 925 PI flying over the house with his high-power RF equipment, his hex wave, microwave transmission. Knocked out the internet religiously. So he not only is 50 to 200 foot overflight of 925 PA going over Morristown, going to Wickenburg to play touch and go air pollution. Knocked out all the RF. In other words, he knocked out the internet, had it knocked out until the entire time he was flying over, and then as soon as he was gone, all the computers and everything rebooted. So that's how powerful the transmissions emanating off the Transpac aviation aircraft are. And not all of them have it every day. M332PA illustrated that one day, would have an attack sequence on the RF. And I do RF studies, by the way. I have SDR play, and I'm an RF person. I have oscilloscopes, but I have a spectral analyzer that goes from 0 to 2 gigahertz, and that's how we studied what they were doing. Like I said, RF pollution's the name of the game. So like I said, hope you're having a good Saturday or good weekend as we continue to watch the Mormon Mafia from Utah, Banjo AI, gangbang, gang war, the small community of Whitman, Arizona, like a religion, as we deal with more chemtrails and New World Order, MK Ultra, mind controllers on the internet. Like I said, and on top of that, I also hope you're doing good over in Texas. Hope all's well. I keep a tab on you. I watch your YouTube videos. I keep spotting Taurus. Yesterday's Taurus was a gray Taurus. You don't see a lot of them, so that's why your programming worked good too, by the way. So like I said, the illustration with the cigarettes, much thank you on that one. Miss talking to you on the phone. You know, like I said, you have the bat phone. You can talk to it any time. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared, meow. Other than that, hopefully, like I said, we're going to keep coming back, and we'll just keep doing more Waymo exposure. If you have any questions, comments, stuff of that nature, I do pay attention. We do heavily censor everything just because of how much we're heavily censored. Our US60's web servers were hacked, both of them, and the February catalogs were deleted from both sides. So that shows you the desperation of the federal government, rat corruption, to protect its ass when it's out doing gang banging, gang warfare with foreigners. Like I said, we caught the Mandarin Chinese flying for Trans-Pac aviators. Like I said, when I was down at the deck, I was just like, I am not going to get in these kids' faces. These kids are so young and so naive. I mean, I'm telling you, they must just live on TikTok all the time, or, you know, some type of mind control device every day, you know what I'm saying? So anywho, like I said, we'll come back later on. This is 10:24 a.m. as you watch N443PA Gangbang Gang Stalk, the Whitman area, for the FBI, Mormons. Oh, and by the way, it's also traffic patrols that are doing it too. This is like a multi-Walmart weapon system, if you ask me my personal opinion of it. It's a multi-facet tool. It's being abused, though. So like I said, have a good day, China. And have a good day, Mormon Mafia from Utah, in bed with China, flying over USA. And they didn't shoot those balloons down. I think he'd easily have taken out those high-altitude balloons, but obviously China was making its presence known, and it was showing you that it could fly a balloon over the United States and the government won't do anything about it. So what good's the military, right? Smell you later.